Hello, everybody! I'm going to speak a little bit louder today because, one, I realized I'm pretty quiet, and two, it's kind of windy. But if I'm overly loud, sorry about it, you can turn me down. Okay, today, Class 3, welcome. We are going to be discussing gender and spiritual evolution. All right, the topics. We're going to do an opening exercise. I'm going to give you a little note in an introduction that is relevant for you. We're going to be talking about spirit and gender, about binary and the magical third. And then we're going to do a poem, and then we're going to meditate. And last week, I showed my beautiful mama, who is the best, my shit, and she had really good feedback for me, which was that she called me on that I was being fearful of that people wouldn't understand me, and that therefore I was holding back. And I was like, damn, mama, woof, you right. You definitely ain't wrong. So we're kicking it up a notch today. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Okay, fuck yeah. Let's do this! Ah! Oh, and instead of a long, beautiful walk today, we're gonna go off-roading, bitches! Yeah! We are going to start with an opening exercise. Take a few deep breaths first. Listen to that wind. Let it clear your mind and heart and head. I don't know if you can hear the birds in the background too, but they can assist you in clearing. Am I speaking loudly enough? I might not be. Okay. Hopefully that didn't take you out of a relaxed meditative state. All right. So deep breaths. I want you to think of a time when you learned a new skill. Whether it was a psycho-emotional skill, like learning how to take ability 4, unpack, and begin to release toxic emotions like jealousy. A psychophysical skill, like designing and implementing a self-disciplined routine for yourself. I'll float a few more examples to get your mind flowing. Learning how to change a tire. Allowing yourself the space to cry cathartically. Fulfilling a kinky sexual fantasy. Learning how to rest. And I said psycho-emotional and physical skills, but of course it's the silent implicative that all of these are spiritual skills. If you can, locate the origin of that feeling in your somatic body. Allow the feelings associated with that skill, accomplishment, growth, vulnerability, pleasure, pride, to expand inside of you, to expand you. Allow yourself to feel fuller, more balanced, way of gender diagnosis at birth, it may have been more difficult for you to access and embody skills that are associated with the other domain of the gender binary. Recall whatever barriers through which you had to work. You may note, the harder you worked to build that skill, the deeper the sense of empowerment and freedom it fostered inside of you. Hold your work at Heart Center and honor yourself. Hello everybody. I hope you enjoyed that drive and hike up the mountain. Okay. Let's get into it. And before we get into it, because preface is my middle name, note on introduction. So this topic is pregnant as fuck. There are, like every topic that, we're discussing on these episodes, but this one in particular, it has a few entry points that I want to discuss. And I'm just going to briefly mention a future class. I don't know if it will be linear, but of course these will be posted all at the same time, so you can watch them linearly if you desire. So I'm just going to refer to the other topics and really focus on the one topic today, without feeling pulled in the direction of the other topics, which is difficult because they are very much interrelated and they very much connect. But it's also important to do the taking apart and the analyzing and then the putting back together once we understand them more deeply. So today I'm going to discuss spirit and what I'm calling genderlessness. No. That's hilarious. That's not what I'm calling it. Genderfullessness. And you'll understand what that means by the end of the class. And in a future class, we're going to discuss mapping and updating our framework and language for the divine masc and femme. Which for now, that's the language I'm using. Divine masc, femme. Femme masc. Divine. Working on it. Another important note for today. Oh, and then also identity is going to be perhaps the third class. Or I may integrate that into the second class. We'll see. And then the way I define and mobilize gender, I'm just going to state really briefly, the embodiment and expression of archetypal energies emanating from and associated with divine femme masc. Divine masc femme. I think I like femme masc better because of the double implicatives. Anyway, but I'm not going to go into many definitions before this class. So I really encourage everyone, but especially those who are less familiar with trans, queer, and feminist frameworks, to seek out, and I'll post some links, but to seek out some writings on those topics in terms of having a base foundation and understanding of gender and sex and sexual orientation and gender expression and trans and non-binary and etc. So Two-Spirit is the other one that I wanted to make sure I mentioned, and then I forgot it, of course. That was funny. I will post links, and please seek those out if you are unfamiliar with that language to build a stronger foundation for yourself. Okay. First topic, spirit and gender. Okay. So, brief definition of spirit as spirit pertains to gender. Spirit is the first emanation and divine expression from source, which is the contracted point of origin from which all emanates. In spirit, all is one, all is union and unionized, both the outcome and the verb and the preconditions. Because spirit is both the conditions and the verbs of involution and evolution, of manifestation and liberation. You with me? Okay. Spirit both encompasses and resolves all binaristic polarity and is the source of. You with me? Including that of the gender model, the binaristic gender model. You could say that our input is binary, but our output need not be. So the binary and the magical third, through involution, by which spirit involves in through us in this physical form and its resulting corporeality, our physical bodies, energy splits and becomes polarized. That's how contraction, creation, birth, that's how that happens. Energy must split, become polarized, and then through its relationship, through its dynamic relationship together, which can feel like friction, because it is. It can feel, because what starts fires, right? We need some shit to start our fires. We need that friction. We need electricity. We need gravity. We are in a material world. We are governed by material world laws in this corporeal form. So part of that is the binary code. It's a part of the material world, the binary code is. That's fine. We don't need to be sad about it, but we also don't need to we are creative beings. We don't need to just keep outputting the same fucking combinations that we get input. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. Through evolution, so involution, spirit coming down, corporeal form, manifestation, physical, coming down into the ground, into the root chakra, into this beautiful earth. And then, what we do as soon as we get here, we want to evolve. I almost said evolve. We want to evolve back to spirit, to reconnect back with spirit, to remerge with spirit, to feel oneness with spirit. Double Pisces, bitch. Right? So, we are here to evolve, to remerge with spirit. And in that evolution, we elevate and align with spirit, which allows us to hold together, harmonize, reorder, and reimagine the binary thinking, and its resulting sense of contradiction, creating the conditions for the magical third. Okay, so what's the magical third, Sam? Let me tell you, bitches. The magical third is both the verb of harmony and the point of infinite potentiality through imaginative expression. The magical third is the verb in the space. The verb in the space. The verb in the space. And the space in which the verb gathers the energy it needs to contract and expand. One more time. The space in which the verb gathers the energy it needs to contract and expand, thus birthing newness into existence. So, I think you feel me. You feel me. Okay. All right. The magical third occurs in the gap. The gap, which holds all unbirthed potentiality. Holds all unbirthed potentiality. And when I say all, I mean the, what did I write? Infinite potential of every formulaic equation of energetic combinations. We're talking about infinite potential. What, you think everything that's going to be thought of has been thought of right now? Everything that's going to be felt has been felt by now? Infinite potentials. And then, of course, in a way, yes. But in another way, no. In the linear way, no. In the non-linear way, fuck yes. But in the linear way, which is a law of the universe, time, right? Which we experience in this fucking physical form, it's linear. Okay, the gap holds all unbirthed potentiality. It highlights the positive and negative traits of each pole. So we become aware of. It brings us into awareness of the energy on what feels like duality. The poles of duality. It is and it feels like, but it's not, you know? And it shows us the path to harmonize them. It dissolves the imaginary factors which paint opposition onto duality, right? So it lifts the curtain so that we can see that which felt impossible to reconcile, that impossibility was imaginary and at the same time true. All right, we're going to start riding this wave of contradiction together more and more frequently because it's exactly what we're talking about. That newness is birthed from contradiction. Fuck, it's cold. But I'm just going to breathe into it. It is what it is. Okay. And finally, the gap reveals our own individualized, unique, embodied expression out of the limitless. Each of us has our own unique path, identity, expression. It evolves as we evolve. It's not stagnant. We're not stagnant. And we're not like anyone else. There are limitless, infinite, limitless possibilities and combinations once we receive, and then we can express creatively, uniquely, individually. That's what's waiting in the gap. Coming into that awareness of who you are and who you are not. Okay. When we occupy the gap through practices like meditation, lucid dreaming, prayer, art, other practices that can help us get there, therapy, different forms of therapy, body work, energy work, right? Lots of different things can help us center in the gap. When we occupy the gap and accept the gift and challenge of negotiating its complexity, because it is complex, we have to work through a lot of shit to get there. And once we're there, we must just express discernment, use discernment. So we need to align in order to do that, right? So we need to align in order to navigate that complexity. But once we do, we access and embody radically more potential and freedom. Radically more potential and freedom. We consciously design and divine our energetic embodiment. It is all energy. And once we shed our barriers. It's kind of like this is what I want, this is what I am, this is who I am, I'm gonna take this energy, and I'm gonna shed the rest of my shit. And so we're making our conscious embodiment, which is consciously designing and divining our evolution. Collectively. Individually. Yes. So, by granting ourselves access to ourselves in the gap, in ways that were previously psycho-socially, spiritually, emotionally withheld, we realize / remember that we had the power to do so all along, thus further imbuing and reinstating our inalienable empowerment, our power, the power which is ours inter and intra-incarnationally. Does that make sense? It's ours pre-carnation, pre this physical form. It's ours after this physical form. And it could be ours in this physical form if we remember it and embody it and practice it. And come into alignment with our integrity and with spirit so that we can hear. And then we're not abusing that power. Because that power that we have isn't ours. And so we respect from which it comes because it's channeled. It's not mine. It's not Sam's power. It's not ego power, right? It's channeling the spirit energy into the material world. All right. So by doing so, we shed shame, guilt, and fear. And we balance, repair, and heal. We raise our individual and collective vibration. And it is all vibration. This is the reason why trans is evolution. Bitches. So go fuck the system up. And here's some poetry for you. Okay, so real talk, I didn't leave myself enough time to do the full poem and the 5-minute meditation. So I'm going to combine them this week, and I will do my best to keep my eye on the clock so I don't keep you past 25 minutes like a good teacher should. Yeah, I'll do better next week. Okay, enjoy the poem / meditation. Genderfullessness, 4th edit, 7th take. Prophets in the appendix, clouds hidden in governance, a testament to summon this. Come for this, run for this, get some, go numb, hear the hum and plummet for this. Envision, push, pull, hold, center. Like now's mentor, like how's inventor, like vows breaking down into something new. Some things borrowed. Some things. Blue, pink, my ink, compound stories of mothers and fathers, sons and daughters combine on my altar, create the contractions of water and fire, heat and desire, discernment, alignment, and depth are required to rewire tears, stares, and fears, to stand in my power right here. Whisper louder in your ear. In a culture of conditional love, I no longer succumb to the weight of thumbs that imagine me singular, split and numb, fragmented and buried in caskets of panic. My fire comes from breath of dragons, magic through madness, both sides of magnets, balance of planets. I am too many parts not to inhabit plurality, inter and intracarnality, immortal mortality, between tempo and pace of reality, like land, like manifestation, like wind, like liberation, like the hibernation of awakening, pre-bipolarity, trees cry for clarity, post-gender binary, refining beneath the sea, like waves, like keys, eat breaks and bleeds a new beat. Beyond me, beyond you. Heart beats, the evolution of 2s turn 3s. The revolution of truth, turn free. thank you, everyone. I hope you have a beautiful situation. I'll see you on the next episode, where we will either be discussing part 2 of this class or something else entirely. Bye.